Hi, I'm Laura Bartow from Studio One Stampers, and it is week 7 in my series of Sale-a-Bration 2023. Now, I've saved one of my very favorite products for the end, and I so hope you can still get this. It's called Dandy Designs Designer Series Paper. Now, take a look at these patterns. There are 48 sheets of patterns and a gazillion different combinations that you can make. When I saw this, I was sure that I was in a quilt store. And so the logical thing for me to do was to make quilt cards. And that's what I've done for you here today. But this is a fantastic technique that you can use with any of your scraps that go together. The great thing about this paper is they've already done all the work for you. And you know, if you've done any quilting at all, that having coordinating colors that actually work together by the same manufacturer or by the same designer is the best way to get a beautiful collection of quilts. So these quilt cards are also using 2 of our new embossing folders, the metal plate folder and the cane weave folder. And those are really great because they give you the texture that are with the cards. Now, I've also used the Something Fancy words as well as the matching die set, and that makes a great little panel to put a greeting on the front of the card. Well, let me show you how much fun it is to do some paper quilting. Well, I've had so much fun making these quilt cards, and I don't know if you can see just the possibilities with this paper. There's so many different colors. I feel like I just walked into a quilt store with all the colors, all the matching things, so I can just pick and choose exactly the ones I want to put together. So for this card, you need 4 different patterns in whatever color range you want. They could be all different, they could be the same. You can do this technique also with scraps. This square is just a 1 1/4 inch square, and there are 12, so you'll need 4 patterns, 3 of each one, to duplicate this particular pattern. So let's just talk about how to put that together the easy way. First of all, what I've got is I've got a piece of copy paper. So this is just real thin copy paper, and it's cut exactly at 5 3 3/4. So that way, that's the size of this layer. So none of this copy paper is going to show, hopefully. And what I've done is I've already gone ahead and tried to put all these pieces pretty much where they go in each row. And you'll see there's a pattern here, and it's kind of a diagonal if you look, because you can kind of see those 3 and then those 3, and then this would be the 3rd one, but we bumped it over to here, and then this would have those 2. So you can kind of see we've got those angles going. Of course, you can assort yours any way you want. You can use more papers. Gosh, the possibilities in quilting are just absolutely endless. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to flip over my first row of pieces right in the order that they go, and I'm going to glue them all up. And it's important when you do this to glue the corners. So I'm trying to just put a small amount of glue in each corner. That's going to hold my corners down. If I put the glue in the center, the corners are going to flip up because the center will have gotten a little bit wet, and then the sides will come up. So I'm just going to start by putting my very first piece in place right on that corner, and then my next one right next to that, and so on. Just trying to make sure I'm exactly straight, because you know the next row is going to depend on the first row being straight, and so I want to make sure that each one is exactly where it's supposed to go. And then I'm back to my corner here, and good, I've made it right to my corner here, just where I want to be. And the nice thing is when the glue's a little bit wet, you still have a chance to just scoot it around a tiny bit. All right, it's time for my next row. So I'll flip those over in the order that they're in. So just flip all those over, and again, just put on my 4 little dots in the corners. Of course, you can use other adhesives as well. I just particularly like the glue and how that really holds. So we'll put this piece down here, and that's going to go right on the edge. and everything looks like it's lining up really well. It is important, just like it is in quilting, to make certain that your squares are the right size. If they're not, sometimes you can run into a little bit of trouble, but these are just right. As a matter of fact, I actually cut them at the same time. I just put them right into the paper cutter and put all the layers together. Oh, that's my cat. I think she's excited about this project too. She's always wanting to have attention, and I think she wants the spotlight. Sometime I'll have to have her come up and you get to see what she looks like. But for right now, I think she's just going to stay put. So anyway, oh good, this one fits. See how I fit it right in my corner here? That fits really well there. And this one fits really well here. And this one fits just right there. Isn't this just gorgeous? And I feel like I'm a quilter. Oh, I wish that I could do such good work. Like, I've seen so many beautiful quilts. So there we are. There's our pieces. Can scoot just a little bit over. And I can, there are all my pieces. Doesn't that look just great? And I want to make sure that that's nice and dry. And then I can select my embossing folder. I've got two to choose from today. This is the cane weave embossing folder, and this one is the metal plate embossing folder. So you can see the two choices. I think today we'll go with the metal plate, and I'll want to put that in here. And they give me a line at the top here where I can make sure everything's straight, if that's helpful to you. And I usually like to use that because then I know I've got it in there straight. And then I want to put it in so that the fold is going to go in first on my die cut machine. And I'm layering it just on the number 1 plate, that number 1 level. That's the really thick one. And this is a thick embossing folder, so I want this particular piece on top. And that's got a number 2 as well. That's also a number 4. And so we're going between 1 and 4. And so we'll just send that right through the die cut machine. I just love how smooth this machine is. It's just been a dream to work with. And here we'll open that up, and there is our beautiful embossed quilted piece. So now it's just a matter of finishing this one. We'll go ahead and grab the pieces for that. And I've got that. I picked Granny Apple Green as a good contrast for this, so you can see that's going to fit right on the Granny Apple Green piece. And I'll go ahead and just glue that down. It's a little bit textured, so I'll probably add a little bit more glue than I might otherwise. And put that down here. So doesn't that look so pretty? And then we're going to put that onto a piece of Poppy Parade. Now, Poppy Parade isn't actually one of the colors in this color palette, but it's a little bit darker than the Calypso Coral that's in the piece. And so I think it makes it really pop really well against the green. And then we'll go ahead and put our greeting. I've already stamped the greeting, and I've used the Something Fancy stamp set, and of course the matching dies. These are just gorgeous dies, and I like these two that layer together, so the little one and the larger one. I just think that's a beautiful shape. I'm going to go ahead and glue those two together. And then I'll put a couple of dimensionals behind this to really kind of pop it up against our texture for our quilt piece. So I'll just grab, I could probably do a couple, oops, let me move that so that's straight. There we go, that looks much better. And I'm just going to put 2 on for the moment because I can, and that's all right. Put those on. And I'm going to center this. I like it kind of centered. You could do whatever you want, of course. So put that on. And then I'm going to grab a couple of these pearls. Now, these pearls really aren't in the color palette for this particular card, but look how great these little pink ones look. When you put that on there, it actually pulls out the pink that's in this particular pattern. So even though it didn't look like they were, it just works out perfectly. So isn't that a great little card? I just love how that turned out, and so wonderful to use scraps. But of course, when all these colors are laid out for you, how can you resist the Dandy Designs paper? So here's another collection that I did from the Dandy Designs, and I've already glued these on, so you don't have to watch me do that. But this time what I want to do is I want to pick the cane weave embossing folder. I think gives a really nice texture. So I'm going to put that one in, and again, I'm going to use that line at the top as my guide, and that'll help me get it straight on here. I think it's good when you're doing a pattern to make certain that it is straight. And again, I've got that same layout with my number 1 on the bottom and my number 4 on the top, the gray one. Some of you might have a different color with a different machine, but anyway, so here we are. And look at how great this cane weave comes out. Doesn't it just look like it's all textured? Doesn't that, the difference between that before and after, I think, is just really striking. I just love the texture on this. Oh, this just makes the best card. Well, let's go ahead and grab the other pieces for this and put this together. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this together real quick. Again, I'm going to add a little extra glue here just because it's textured. And I'm stacking that onto our starry sky. So that's our next color, and that makes a really nice bright background for this color. And then we'll put it onto Granny Apple Green as well. So here we go, onto Granny Apple Green. And then I've already stamped my greeting. And here I've got that, my little thank you. And of course that comes from our something fancy. I just love all the different pieces, different greetings in here. And of course I'm really, really taken with the shapes of all of these. So this will just go right in there. So look at that. Look at this great collection of quilt cards that we have. And I just hope that you can envision the possibilities are endless using this Dandy Designs Designer Series paper. Have fun.